This one seems to have split opinions a little bit, especially between critics and audiences. Audiences seem to have generally liked it, critics not so much. And in cases like this, where we're not dealing with a major blockbuster, I tend to side with audiences. That's just how it seems to go most of the time. I also thought this looked pretty promising and the cast is really good as well, so I wasn't too worried about it being bad despite some negative reviews. But what's the deal here? What's the story about? Well, it's about this woman, played by Noomi Rapace. She's split up with her husband and she's got a son they share custody of. But very early on you get the sense that everything's not okay. There's this foreboding and ominous tone, and yeah, something's looming in the background. Something dark, and that almost immediately starts to build this sense of mystery and suspense. And at the same time you're trying to piece together all the clues and to figure out what exactly is going on. And I don't really want to get into too much detail here, but let's just say that, well, there's reason to believe that the main character might not be entirely stable. And I thought the movie did a really good job with the suspense and the mystery aspect of the whole thing. It drops some clues here and there, enough to figure out pretty much what's going on, without just explaining it outright to you. Well, it does of course eventually lay it all out there. And there's at least one more layer to it than I had expected. But for the most part it gives you the tools to put it all together if you're paying attention. It also does a good job creating this both tragic and disturbing atmosphere, where you sympathize with the main character while at the same time you're a little bit unsettled by her. I at least was never sure what she was gonna do next and how far she was going to take things. And yeah, I thought all of that was very well done, and the performances here, not just by Noomi Rapace but especially her, were pretty great to be honest. But I mean, Yvonne Strahovski and Luke Evans definitely didn't let me down either. It's also not a bad looking movie, I really liked the cinematography. And from a direction and editing point of view, I thought it worked very well too. So for the most part, I'd say I enjoyed the movie. It held my attention and kept things interesting. However, then we get to the ending, and I don't use this word a lot, but it's problematic. The ending's got some serious issues and I can't help but to feel like they really dropped the ball here. But the thing is too, they sorta wrote themselves into a corner with this one. Because by the time they need to wrap things up, there's realistically only two options left. There's really only two ways they could go with this story. And the issue is that neither of them are great, both are problematic. But in my opinion they went with the option that has even more problems than the other one. I mean, first of all, they try to bring in a twist of sorts, but it's just so far-fetched. And second of all, ignoring that issue, the resolution just didn't feel very satisfying. And I honestly don't think there is a very satisfying way to wrap this story up. Whatever they chose to do, there were gonna be some issues. And that is unfortunate because I did like the rest of the movie. But the ending just kinda ruined the whole thing for me, to be honest. Because it has implications that reach all the way to the beginning of the movie. And that kinda made this whole story feel like a bit of a mess. So yeah, needless to say, this one let me down at the finish line. And I am a bit disappointed by that. However, would I recommend this? Not really. I just don't think it's worth getting invested for an ending like this. So you can probably skip this one, or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.